Look, I totally get it. You've spent the last year perfecting your prompts. You've got a perfect system message that makes one of those AI models sound exactly like your brand voice. You've even built a library of prompts that your team swears by. But now I'm here to tell you that, well, none of that matters anymore. At least not in the way you think it does. Because while you were mastering the art of prompt engineering, the entire landscape shifted behind you. And if you don't catch up fast, you're going to watch your competitors leave you in the dust. So in this video, I'm going to show you why context engineering is the skill that separates companies who actually scale AI from those who are stuck playing with some simple stuff. We will dive into what's really causing your AI systems to fail, and then we'll try to understand why dumping more data into the context window of the model isn't just the solution. And most importantly, I'll give you the exact framework the most successful AI companies are using right now. And here's what's really crazy. 33% of enterprises have already deployed AI agents. That's a 300% increase from just 2 quarters ago. Just imagine this. But there is a kicker. Only 14 to 24% of those agents actually succeed at real-world tasks. So do you understand? The question isn't about whether AI agents are coming to your industry. They are already here. The question is, why are most of them failing so spectacularly? By the way, I'm Victor Molly, and I've spent the last 3 years building AI engineering teams that deliver state-of-the-art products with generative AI. I've seen firsthand what separates AI projects that actually ship from those that die in the proof of concept phase. And trust me, it's not about writing better prompts. You know, I was talking to a head of AI of one e-commerce company a couple of weeks ago who told me something that really stuck with me. He said, Victor, we have tried really everything. We've got a team of 5 people just writing and testing prompts. But every time we add something new in the prompt, everything breaks. Does it sound familiar to you? Here's what's actually happening. You're trying to solve a context problem with prompt engineering. It's like trying to teach someone to cook by only giving them recipes, but never letting them see the ingredients. I mean, think about it. When you onboard a new employee, you don't just hand them a list of instructions and expect miracles, right? You give them access to documentation in your internal knowledge base. Introduce them to the team, show them where to find that information they need for their work. You give them what we call a context. But with AI, we have been doing the exact opposite for a couple of last years. We've been obsessed with finding the perfect words that will make our AI systems understand exactly what we want. And sure, yeah, that worked. When we were just playing around with simple AI workflows focused on a single task. And the reality is, as Enrico Karpati recently put it, we need to master the delicate art and science of filling the context window of a model with just the right information. And these are not prompts, but instead, this is the context your AI systems are using. And here's where it gets really interesting. Because once you understand this shift, you will see why some companies are getting 40% productivity gains, while others are still struggling with basic AI automation. Okay, let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're building an AI agent to handle customer support. And like, what was the old way? You would write a really detailed prompt with something like, you're a helpful customer service agent. Be friendly and professional. Here are our policies. And guess what happens next? You're watching that agent failing again and again. But why, you ask me? Because that agent has no idea what happened in the customer's last 5 interactions or conversations. It doesn't know about the product update you just pushed yesterday. It can't access the customer order history or check inventory in real time. And this means that you've built a genius, but with amnesia. This is what I mean when I say context engineering changes everything. Instead of trying to cram all possible scenarios into a prompt, you build systems that dynamically feed your AI with exact information it needs and exactly when it needs it. Companies that get this right are using something called a model context protocol. Okay, think of it as a USB-C port for your AI applications. Your agent needs customer data, it pulls it. Needs to check inventory, it accesses that system. Needs to know about recent company updates, it retrieves them immediately from the internal knowledge database. And look, I know what you're thinking. But Victor, isn't this just making things more complex? Actually, it's the opposite. Because once you build those context pipelines, your AI agents become actually useful. They stop hallucinating. They stop giving outdated or non-existent information. But here is the thing that most people miss about context engineering. It's not about dumping everything into your AI's context window. So last month, I was talking to a team building AI financial advisor for the last 6 months, but they still kept failing. They reached the point where they were ready to give up on AI entirely. So what was their mistake? They thought that more data meant better results. And as a result, they were stuffing 60,000 tokens or something like this of irrelevant chat history into every interaction. And the AI was drowning in noise. And here, what I advise them to do instead. They've built what I call the 4 pillars of context engineering. First, write. They created a system to persist important conversation state outside the volatile context window. You can think about it as a conversational memory. Second, select. They built smart retrieval that fetched only the relevant information for each conversation step. Third, compress. They summarized and trimmed context to keep it compact and focused. And finally, fourth, isolate. They separated different types of context to prevent interference. And within 2 weeks, their success rate jumped from 20 to 78% with the same model, with the same use case, but with a completely different approach. And believe me, this is currently happening everywhere. Shopify's CEO Toby Lütke just endorsed this shift. He said that context engineering better can be described as the art of providing all the context. And he's absolutely right. Because the companies winning with AI aren't the ones with the best prompts. They are the ones who've mastered the context architecture. They're building memory systems, retrieval pipelines, tool orchestration, the whole ecosystem around their AI models. But actually, I haven't even told you the most important part yet. Because there is one thing that changes everything in how you should think about AI implementation. Do you remember that statistics from the beginning? It's about that only 14 to 24% of AI agents succeed at real-world tasks. Well, here's what that number is really telling us. It's not that AI models aren't good enough. GPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever. These models are incredibly capable. The problem is we have been using them like we would use like a calculator, when we should be using them like we would use them as a new team member. So I would rather think about it this way. Context engineering isn't some complex technical challenge. It's literally just giving your AI what it needs to do its job. It's building the infrastructure so your AI can access your company's knowledge, use your tools, and remember important information. And once you make this mental shift from crafting clever prompts to architecting information systems around your AI, everything will change. Your AI agents stop being toys and start being tools. And real tools that drive real business value for you. And look, if you take away just one thing from this video, let it be this. Stop trying to prompt engineer your way to AI success. Start building the context infrastructure your AI actually needs. Because in 12 months, there won't be prompt engineers. There will be context engineers. And the companies that make this transition now are the ones who will own the future. And if this opened your eyes to what's really happening in AI right now, hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping new insights every week on how to actually make AI work in the real world. Cheers.